know how to do it. He was looking for someone. Yeah.
All right, good morning. Good morning. For our December economic meeting, Dr. Elias is going to be running a little bit late this morning, so I'm going to get things kicked off for us. First and foremost, coffee sponsor this morning. We have that up there, Shaw Solar. Shaw. Oh, click. Yes, sorry, my bad. Yes, you can. Go for it.
Everybody, good morning. Operations, special projects at Shaw. And I just wanted to remind folks that there is federal grant for solar installations on commercial buildings here in our area in the USDA. So cranking at full speed. It is willing to cover 50% of the project cost. There's also a federal tax credit of 30%. So you can combine both of those and have a really killer economic for your project. Our grant writing team, we're proud to say we have 100% success rate so far. We're over 70, and brought in close to 3 million now to our community. So I'm looking to write more. So looking for businesses that are interested. So I can hang around after, or feel free to call our office. Also, quickly, we are about to finish up registering an apprenticeship with the state of Colorado, which we're really proud about. So it's electrical apprenticeships to help train the next generation of electricians, which is really important in the community. So if you know of anyone who's looking to change industries, it's paid tuition, guaranteed wage increases, just a really fun group to work with. So good, spread the word. And thanks. Enjoy the coffee.
All right, we got another full house this morning. This is great to see so many people here in December. Do we have any guests that are visiting for the first time? Go ahead.
My name's Stephanie. I work for Denise Elliott State Farm office. We just opened a Bayfield office in February, and we just want to come see what's going on and let y'all know we have a Bayfield office.
Great. Any other guests? Kyle?
I haven't been here in a while, but my name is Kyle Kunkel, excited to get back into the group, and yeah, that's what I got for you guys.
All right. In the very back.
I'm Grant. I just graduated college and I'm here to just kind of dip my toes in the water and see where's next. Hopefully find out at some point.
You're in the right place.
That's awesome.
What's your degree in?
Entrepreneurship.
Oh, great. Okay. Probably get hit up here in a minute. Hi. Welcome. Everyone, Dr. Steve Elias joined us.
Where's the photo?
Past that.
Right.
Any other guests? Go ahead, Lynn.
I'm Lizette Langfels from Animas Surgical Hospital. Karis normally comes and she invited me to start joining her, so I'll be here. Awesome. Thank you.
Welcome.
And I'm Megan Roberts. I'm from Animas Surgical Hospital and I'm Nova Joe Thine, so please no comparison.
Okay. Thank you. Any other guests before we move on? All right, like we do with every meeting, we're just going to start with our public partners. You know, they're pretty busy folks, so we're going to move right into that. Unfortunately, Mayor Clark Craig is a little under the weather this morning, so we are going to move to Commissioner Sullivan.
Morning, everyone. Matt Sullivan, Potomac County Commissioner. A couple items here. January 9th, we'll be approving our budget. The other item too as well, during today's business meeting, we'll be reviewing permitting fees and building fees for La County. Just a couple items of interest for you all to know that building permit fees have not been updated since 2008. Planning permit fees have not been updated since 2003. And while these costs of these fees have not gone up, the cost of operating the community development department and process applications have increased. So we'll be today during our business meeting reviewing that. The other item too as well is that the fees currently only cover about 32% of the cost of the department. And if approved, it will bring that up to 53% of the cost of the department. So it's important for us to review those fees Now, I hear from the community that, our planning department, slow processing, we are very well aware of that. This is one of the steps on improving that department and improving those operations. So, this is one of those items that we need to check off the box to review and make sure that, they are at the level they need to be. The other item too as well is our regional weather radar station. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but the process hit a bit of a snag as the FAA has issued an objection to the tower location. Did not give us reason why. We're waiting to hear back from them. Thank you very much to the federal government on their even slower process than what the county does. The other item too is, so there's gonna be construction. Of course, Tony Bakari at the airport is bothering them as well as the county. We need this weather radar station up and running as of years ago. So more to come on that item, but have not received any additional update from the FAA just yet. Last but not least, broadband. Today during our business meeting, we'll finally be approving our 20-year IRU agreement with all four parties, La Plata Electric, La Plata County, Archuleta County, and the Southern Indian Tribe for 32 miles of fiber from Ignacio to Pagosa Springs. What does that mean for all of us? Redundancy, access. It's putting a highway through the southern reservation boundaries to be able to provide high-speed internet from Pagosa Springs to Ignacio, to Bayfield, to Durango. That's another additional connection. So if there's a fiber cut, and as worked very well a couple of times just this year alone, Archuleta County has been brought down by one fiber cut. So this will keep our phones up and running and our businesses being able to process transactions. It's another path to be able to have redundancy. So great news there. And that's a 20-year agreement to do the tribe. And that is a $4 million project that we all contribute $500,000 for. Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm actually pretty excited to report that we are in a little bit of a holding pattern in Bayfield. We're slowing down just a little bit, which is nice because we've been on the go. Our next two board meetings as well as our planning commission meeting have been canceled. So
hello, William Glenn.
we catch our breath. But I do just want to say one thing. There was a really great article in the paper about 2 weeks ago about the growth coming to Bayfield. And I made the fatal mistake of going down the rabbit hole on the Facebook comments on the
Oh, no.
It occurred to me that the general public is completely unaware of the process that these developments go through to get approved. So I just want to reiterate to the public, get involved, come to the meetings. None of this stuff is happening overnight behind closed doors. There's a pretty exhaustive public process that takes place, and we do take public comment very serious. So just a good reminder that we are growing, La Plata County is booming. None of our towns are going to look the same in 5 and 10 years. So just urge your public to get involved in the process. And I'll get off my soapbox now, but that's it. Thank you.
Up next, Councilor Buell.
Okay, City Council approved our budget at our last meeting, and so that will be, Finance is working on compiling it all now that it's approved, and it'll be on the city website by the end of January. So if you have any questions, go ahead and pull that up and take a look at the budget that we have coming up for the next year. It's super exciting. I do love this time of year because we've been getting lots of updates as to what we've accomplished in the past year. So if you want to go back and look at our last city council meeting, we got a strategic plan update as to all the projects and everything we've done that kind of accomplished our strategic goals that city council set for us. And then yesterday at the URA meeting, Tommy Crosby highlighted all the great things the URA has completed in 2023. And so it's kind of super fun to kind of see those in snapshots and all the successes we've had. Last month, we exchanged keys with the fire department for the community development building for the 9R district building, and the community development department is scheduled to move into the old picture high school building on January 16th. Nominations are being accepted for the 2022-2023 Design and Development Awards. If you have a nomination, it can be made online at durangogov.org. 2024 Lodgers Tax and Arts and Culture grant application is open. The first round deadline is gonna be January 31st. We've been able to distribute over $1 million in lodgers tax to arts and culture projects in and around the city. So it's been super exciting. So if you know of anyone, an artist or anything that wants to, make our community better, that is out and open on durangogov.org. The West Slope Startup Week is gonna be returning to Durango in 2024. They had such a successful turnout and love Durango so much, they're coming back here. It's gonna be in August, and so just kind of keep your eyes and ears out for that. Our land use development code amendments and proposed updates to the fair share program. We got an update at that at the last city council meeting, and that's super exciting. The fair share program basically is helping us get more affordable housing units actually built in Durango. There's an in lieu fee that people have typically paid, and we've only, I think, had 9 houses built in the last 14 years under the fair share ordinance. And so we're changing the program so that way more houses are built and developers are incentivized to build affordable housing here in Durango. So that's super exciting. That was an update that was given to us at the last meeting. And we will, I think, be seeing that starting to get implemented in March, I believe, if I remember right. Let's see what else is going on. City staff, okay, I did that. The report includes, I think that's it. My God's gonna read a lot and that's not really important, so if you have any questions, let me know.
All right, well, now Steve is here, so you can give some board update.
All right, thank you. 'Tis the season of, but taking it over from here as well. All right, so I'll go over here. 'Tis the season of budgets. The Alliance's 2024 budget was passed. Officer election for held in your city. Slate of officers remained the same. That includes Mitch, he got back there quick. Mitch. I don't think Jason Porch of Bank of Colorado is here this morning, and myself. After what took a lot of time and effort and thought and consultation, the board passed an investment policy as well as a financial policy. And the board will also appoint a member. We do have an open seat on the board right now. Joe Thine was mentioned. We will fill that as soon as possible for the remainder of the term, which will end in December of 24, and then we'll have elections in October of 24 for what will be 2 seats, I believe myself and Joe, or Joe's replacement. Also, like it's budget time of year, it is evaluation time of year, and the Alliance Executive Director, Mike, will be evaluated in January. Did I miss anything? Solid. All right. Perfect. Speaking of Mike. Thank you. Stand up here too. Yes. $1.
Morning. Good morning. Mortgage activity is worth talking about. In late October, we reached a 23-year high of just close to 8%. It's actually 7.79 recorded, but following that week, it actually hovered right at 8%. Within 4 weeks, you've seen the rates drop significantly. This is kind of triggered by what the Feds did in terms of holding interest rates. And we've actually eroded it down to right at 7. It's actually trending below 7 right now. And that is probably an 11% decline in 4 weeks, which is fantastic. We haven't seen this kind of movement in a while. If we continue this trend and we get under 6, I think it'll stimulate quite a bit of activity and reverse some of the trends that have been happening for the year. I'm going to cover this very briefly, but in La Plata County, this is through the end of November, which just came out a couple of days ago. We'll have the complete annual information the first week of January or second week of January. But through the end of November, sales activity is down 20% in the county, whereas the median sales price is up right about 8%. Median price was $725 in the county, and the average sale price has increased quite a bit to over 900,000. Durango in town, it's showing kind of similar statistics, maybe not as big of a decrease year over year, but through the end of November, down 10% in total activity, up 5% in terms of median. And again, average sale price is close to 900K, whereas the median is close to 800. In Bayfield, the sold listings is down a little bit more. It's probably because of not quite the volume that we're looking at, but it's 30% with almost 7% increase in median price. This is the only place where the median and the average are flipped. So the median is actually 487 and the average is 466. We kind of don't see that. Usually the median is below the average, and in Bayfield, for some reason, it's inverted. Kind of interesting statistics. In terms of unemployment, another great trend. Plata County is below Colorado, which is below the US unemployment. This is for the month of October. The data is always trailing about 60 days, but we're down really close to pre-pandemic numbers. So in December, prior to the pandemic, we were at about 2.4, 2.3, 2.4 is where those months were hovering. And I think we're getting really close to that. So all it translates to is a really tight labor market here. And I'm not telling you guys anything that you don't know. In terms of updates, the outlook is Tuesday. The Southwest Colorado Economic Outlook is Tuesday, January 9th. So we will not be hosting an alliance meeting in January in lieu of that meeting. We'll start to promote this heavily starting next week and hope to get everybody there. I think this is their 32nd annual.
32nd, and Rich Waddington, 32.
Fantastic. We'll have somebody from Bank of Colorado talk about it today. So just make note, no membership meeting. And again, we'll advertise that when notice is out regarding the meeting. Catalyst Fund, we'll have more information in February, but looks like we're going to fund at least 2, potentially 3 projects in this round from the 7 applications that came in. Even if we fund 3, I think it's to the advisory committee right now. We should have word by the end of this week what we're funding and writing checks for. But even if we fund all 3, we definitely have enough money to go into 2024, and we'll probably have around 3 in Q1. And I'm pretty optimistic that we'll have a slight reload of that, probably 250K into the Catalyst Fund in January, and that will allow us to do a round 4 in probably Q3 of 2024. The next round is TBD, but I'm pretty optimistic that we'll be writing checks into most of next year. Our strategic plan for 2024, we last published our plan in 2020, in October of 2020. That was a 3-year plan. We got to review that with the board. We'll make some edits to that. It's not going to be a dramatic shift, but what we are going to do is incorporate an agile strategic planning process, which will look at strategic planning in a consolidated way for maybe 12 to 18 months. We'll publish that to the membership. It'll be a lot more tactical, and it's kind of a rolling strategic plan that we'll do almost every single year. So again, we'll edit the big one, kind of a 3-year outlook, and get a little more tactical on a 2024 plan, and make sure and include that in our annual report. The annual report will wait for financials to come out. We had a great year in 2023, primarily because of grant performance. We had 2 grants, 2 large grants, one of them that sunsetted with the resiliency grant through the county, and we took on the Opportunity Now grant that will reflect in the financials. We'll probably publish the annual report in February. Speaking of the Opportunity Now grant, we call our Project Run. Celinda, you want to give us a quick update on that? Sure.
So I'm Celinda Linares-Gray, the program manager for Project Run. That's the $1.25 million grant we have going the next 3 years to create 6 micro-credentials for our community. in various target industries. And so the update is we were able to have our design sprint. So these are community-led brainstorming sessions that we had in November. Our 2 micro credentials that we're working on this year are childcare and leadership. Childcare is really complicated. We're still trying to figure out what levers we can push with that. And so we're having continuing conversations with all of the stakeholders there to kind of figure out where we want to go with it. On the leadership side, we are super confident that we've identified 4 key learning areas that our employers have said, because these are the things that we need for our employees to have in order to promote them into middle management positions. And those key learning areas are person management, performance management, organizational planning and strategy, and mindset. And those are the 4 areas we're going to go with. So we're ready to move forward with leadership. Our next steps are to create a curriculum design team. And so that will be led by a faculty member, probably the past business. And also we're looking for anyone with content expertise in any of those 4 areas. So if you or anyone in your organization feels like they have some expertise in that area, or they have a really good story they want to tell about leadership, we're looking for storytellers, we're looking for content experts, and instructors who can help us build out this credential, which we'll be offering for leadership in April and May. It will probably last 6 to 8 weeks, maybe 4 to 6 hours a day. So our ask to you is, let us know if you want to be one of those people to contribute to that curriculum design. And then also we still have spots open for our adult learners who will be participating. But those spots are filling up fast. So if you're in one of our target industries, which includes healthcare, finance, utilities, energy, manufacturing, education, please reach out. You can contact me. That's how you spell my name, at yeslpc.com. And just let me know, hey, I have this person and this person. We can probably take 2 from each organization, and let us know if you want to participate. We'd love to have them. And this credential we're building out will be repeatable. So if we can't get to you and your employees this year, we'll be able to, once it's set up, repeat it next year. We can repeat it more than once next year, depending on interest.
Yeah, it's perfect. Again, we'll probably kick off that leadership certification in the spring. And we're looking to do the first cohort of about 15 people. We could grow it a little bit, and then we'll figure out what that second micro certification is. Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Rosalinda. Great job. Up next, we have our new CEO of Animas Surgical, Megan Robbins.
I found a trend and.
I mean, the main thing is we found a picture.
So good morning, everybody. Megan from Animas Surgical Hospital. And so just, to recap, Animas Surgical Hospital is the Public County's only locally owned purpose-built short-stay surgical hospital. And we actually were the first physician-owned hospital in the state of Colorado, which is pretty amazing considering, our rural community down here that just tends to lead the way in Colorado. So we've grown a lot. We just celebrated our 19th anniversary last week. When we started with 35 employees at our campus at 575 Rivergate Lane. Rivergate was a new development at the time. And it was amazing how many times we were mistaken for a vet hospital, because people outside of our community don't understand that Animas is a real word and it's not a misspelling of animal. Today we have over 212 employees. And so as the community has grown, as the community healthcare needs has grown, so has our employment base. As well as then our economic impact into payroll, back into the community. We continue to grow. So in 2009, was it 2013? Some Animas Urgent Care opened. I guess we just had their 10 years, so it was 2013. So we realized that as physician offices were being bought up and become a part of a system and not independent, our independent physicians were losing their referral base. We were also working to bridge the gap between primary care, which is really hard to get into, and the emergency department, which a lot of folks use unnecessarily, and it's a really high cost of care. So Animas Urgent Care was born out of that. Today, we continue to see over 500 patients a month between our regular urgent care and then our occupational medicine clinic, which is run out of that office. That clinic sees over 100 of your workforce every month and works really hard to get them back to work after they've been injured on the job. More recently, Animas Surgical Center at Escalante, so over by Home Depot, we purchased that business while it was in development. And we have been able to expand our ORs and again, offer a lower cost solution for healthcare. So hospital costs, hospital settings, reimbursement is up here, surgery centers down here. And so we're working really hard to level set and figure out what we can transfer there that makes sense for the community, that makes sense for our physicians, so they have another place to operate at a lower cost. And then most recently, actually, we just celebrated the year anniversary. We had the opportunity to buy Southwest Endoscopy Center. So that is Durango's only purpose-built endoscopy center providing colonoscopies. There are two places. You can also get colonoscopies at Mercy, and Dr. Shearer is back in town. So we're super excited for that because gut health is extremely important, especially in Southwest Colorado. And we see that so many people are migrating out of this community to receive those services. So we are working really, really hard to recruit. And it's an uphill battle. We see 700 physicians retire out of the GI space every year, and they're graduating less than 500 physicians in. So not only do we have a population growth who are aging and need those services, we have a physician decline. And so we're trying to get creative to figure out how we can bring more of those providers into our community and be independent providers that, as we all know, add to the economic value. So a little bit about me. I went to Fort Lewis College. I was on the pre-med track. So I have a bachelor's in science. And really quickly realized that maybe I was better at business than I was at science. As much as I love blood and guts, numbers really spoke to me. And so I've been at Animas Surgical Hospital since before they opened. I actually started when they were the surgery center on Main Street, which is now where the Peak Energy building is, and got to have this amazing experience that nobody ever gets to have, where A, I worked really hard, but B, I was in the right spot at the right time to support our then CEO, Brett Gosney, and learning about how to build and develop a hospital from the ground up. And so I saw things and heard things, and Dale will tell you I covered my ears a lot, that nobody ever gets to see. I mean, even the most seasoned CEOs and seasoned healthcare executives, they don't get to see it from the ground up. And so I have a really unique perspective, as well as having lived in Durango for so long. My husband and I have 2 young kids. They attend Riverview. He's super involved in the soil project. My daughter's a Girl Scout, so Girl Scout cookie season is upon us. And yeah, I just continue to grow with the hospital. So some of our key priorities. Keeping healthcare local. As I mentioned, we have a lot of people out migrating from this community to receive healthcare services that we are more than capable of offering locally. So we're working really hard to keep that healthcare local. We continue to recruit, and our goal is to recruit providers into independent practices, so they have the ability to make the decisions that they need to make. Right now, that's an uphill battle. Medicare is cutting physician reimbursement by 3%. And the state Hospital Discount Care Act, which has been great for folks who can't afford healthcare, is really hurting our local independent providers as well. Because of the mandates the state is putting on them to provide care at a cost that doesn't sustain their practices. So they're getting the triple whammy, because we're also seeing the cost of delivering care, the cost of payroll increasing. And so as their costs are increasing and their reimbursement is decreasing, I'm nervous. I'm nervous we're going to be able to have independent providers in this community. And so it's, incumbent upon all of us to be able to help protect that, so that we have choices in the providers that create our care. We're also continuing to grow to meet our healthcare needs. And as I said, we continue to buy practices or buy facilities that maybe would close otherwise. That was the case with Southwest Endoscopy. Their corporate partner was getting ready to close that business. And we were just gonna lose those services completely. And that's part of the reason that we came in to do that. But it's also supporting our healthcare workers. Lizette does a great job partnering with local schools. So everywhere from the high schools all the way through the college. We host students all year round. We're a site for students to do their clinicals. We have MA student clinicals, CNA student clinicals, scrub tech, rad tech, nursing techs and nurses. And occasionally we get a PA or a provider that comes in who's partnered up with one of our physicians to do their clinicals. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. I think everyone here is going to be super successful and continue the trajectory of Brand Animas. So just to be clear, though, there are no veterinary services.
There are no veterinary services.
Okay.
We do support, you know, the therapy dog, but in limited circumstances.
Okay. Where's Pat? Pat Vaughn from. Yeah, RHA.
Good morning. Thanks for giving me some time to talk about the RHA and where we're at. RHA is the Regional Housing Alliance of Plata County. It's a multi-jurisdictional housing authority under state charter. It's comprised of the Plata County, City of Durango, Town of Bayfield, and Town of Ignacio. I'm the only reason I'm chairman is I'm the only non-government person on the board, so it's kind of by default. I do have a lot of development experience. I've been in land development, real estate investment, private equity investment for and I retired from the Southern New Tribe as operating director there about a year and a half ago. I really felt that workforce housing is near and dear to my heart. I was recruited by the tribe to get Three Springs annexed, approved, started, staffed, and then run the real estate business for the tribe. So, you know, workforce housing, I think Three Springs is a good example of workforce housing in the community. But we, as Mike pointed out, the pricing that he showed is outrageous. And with interest rates today, you know, our kids are going to be able to afford any of this stuff. So Regional Housing Alliance, I think, is really important to this community. And it was kind of brought back to life, I think, in 2021. But it really didn't get legs till this year because of the teamwork with the Alliance. We've got staff now. We've gotten technical assistance grants from the state, from CHAFA, that have really allowed us to stand up the organization, really to provide time, effort to put together a strategic plan. And candidly, the hallmark of that is we have to find in this community a sustained funding source that's consistent. We can't depend on ARPA funds, are gone from the feds. We can't always depend on stuff from the state. There is Proposition 123, which was approved about a year ago that brings in excess TABOR funds that will help, but it's a very competitive process. So it's really, really important. And this is part of what we're going to be working on for the next year or two is how do we get a sustained funding source in this community that can go to housing and say, well, you know, what's got to generate is $1 million, $2 million. That's nothing when median price is, you know, 900 grand, right? This is all about layers. And it's about community support. When you have community support, you layer those funds, and you leverage those funds. And all of a sudden it opens up the doors to all kinds of other grants and matching funds from lots of different sources. So this is how we're going to march forward And it's gonna be involving the community over the next year or two to try to figure out how do we do this? How do we get a sustained funding source? Because it's really important. We're gonna lose the heart and soul of this area, this community, the workforce. You guys know it better than anybody, if we don't do something. And it's up to us to really try to do something now. I think I really appreciate the RHA and the folks that are on the RHA board. I've said this to other people, and I'll say it now. I've never seen the city of Durango and the county work together like they are right now. And I think the RHA is part of the reason. And I've never seen Bayfield and Ignacio recognized by others the way they have been, at least through this board. I used to joke that when the county was in the courthouse, that Second Avenue was the Grand Canyon, because the city and the county they hated each other. And I'm seeing real cooperation, and I think the RHA is part of that, part of the reason. So that's all I have. Don't have any cool pictures. That's the answer.
Do you have a target endowment for the fund?
Not yet. That's something that we're working on to try to figure out, okay, what do we need? But candidly, we also have to look at what's politically feasible. You know, if you're gonna go to vote for some sort of tax, if that's in the offing, what kind of tax is it? What is it competing with on the ballot? There's a lot of things that have to be considered in that.
Would the fund be used to subsidize purchasing homes, or what would the fund be? The main purpose be?
I think it would be broad, because there's no one answer. But I think it's meant to leverage funds to get more affordable housing built. And the RHA is focused on preservation as well, but we're in a mathematical problem. The math has not worked for 10 years. We've underbuilt for 10 years. Yeah. And you can say, well, you know, it's you can let it go. It's just going to be expensive homes. It's math. Used to be affordable housing was the older product in town. It was called the C and D product. Well, the C and D product has all been bought up and redeveloped into higher end homes because we just haven't built enough. So we need units on the ground. So that's my focus. And one of the reasons I got on the board is my mission is building at scale, not onesie-twosie things here. Yeah. ADUs aren't going to solve our problem. We need housing at scale. Yes.
Just want to ask a clarifying question. You say workforce housing, are you specifically targeting, we've some sessions of this, that 80 to 120%, or does workforce housing have a different definition than affordable housing, or is it kind of?
It's different than affordable housing. If you talk about affordable housing, usually that is associated with low income tax credit housing, which is like 30 to 60, sometimes 80% of the amount. My focus has generally been 80 to 120, maybe 140. But candidly, with pricing, you're going to have to go down a little bit. So maybe it's 60 to 120. The folks that work at the surgical center, clean the rooms and prepare the meals. They're going to need places to live, and so we kind of need to broaden that. And unfortunately, federal grants and things like that, the affordable housing is really restricted. You're in a box. You need to stretch that box, okay? And the way to stretch that box is by getting a funding source that then other people can match. And I used this example at a recent meeting. I was involved in the connection of the highway across the White Range, bridge to nowhere. And I know Chris Webb pretty well. And I called him up. He lives in Detroit. He grew up in that ranch. And CDOT wanted to run the highway literally right through the middle of his range. And with the cut involved with that, it would have bifurcated and basically destroyed his ranch. He just wanted somebody to talk to. So I spent the part of a decade working with him, and CDOT, and others to get the alignment approved. And I thought, oh great, it's my bucket list. We got it approved. We'll never get it funded. Well, different entities came together and chipped away at that funding, city, county, tribe, DOLA, CDOT, Senator Bennett's office, cobbled together $100 million. Well, that's how we leverage funds. And that's what it's gonna take for us.
So when you say funding, is it gonna be a tax or is it like a syndication? And is there benefits? Okay. Is there benefits for those who put in like cost segregation, stuff like
I
that?
think there's gonna be a combination, honestly, because I mean, we're talking to a group out of Denver that's built low income tax credit housing here. And they're talking to Mercy about doing something near the Mercy campus. That is workforce housing and using Proposition 123 funds to help them do that. So, you know, that might be a block of folks or a block of units that are available specifically to Mercy housing or Mercy hospital. So it's partnerships like that that I think are going to be absolutely necessary to continue this.
Yeah. Thank you, Pat. Next we have Tracy Anselmo from La Plata Public Health.
Okay, so if you've ever wondered how public health affects you in your life, or if you find it difficult to think of ways that it does, I should look at this one. Really consider that this is the main your health and community. Today, we're just 10 working days away from the opening of the Public Health Department. And I want to give you a quick update on the highlights and milestones that have gotten us to this point. First of all, it's been an all hands effort across the county. Almost every single department within the county administration has played a role in getting our health department up and running, including general services procurement, the county attorney's office. You can imagine that it's been an all hands on deck, and I really want to thank them all. But I also want to thank you all, our community partners that have supported and ensured that the County receives the public health services that we need and deserve. Since the decision to dissolve San Juan Basin Public Health Department, both the Board of County Commissioners and the Board of Health and our chair, Douglas McCarthy, is in the back of the room, and I want to thank Doug for being here today, have held over 25 meetings. The Board of Health activities have included passing resolutions, engaging stakeholders in several discussions around what services we need to provide, making recommendations to the Board of County Commissioners, as well as the adoption of policies, fees, contracts, and other actions related to the operation of the future health department. Since May, a very, very small group of individuals, Claire McPherson, Adrian Azumian, Megan Graham, and Carly DeLong, with the cooperation of San Juan Basin Public Health staff, have done a tremendous amount of work in concert with those county departments that I mentioned earlier, to get this work done. It's involved defining the programs and identifying the services that will be offered, creating job descriptions, conducting roughly 100 interviews for staff, considering the eligibility for and submitting 34 grant applications to fund the public health department, and informing the budget creation. We've also conducted community engagement and stakeholder outreach on issues such as wastewater treatment, a big issue, and also our opioid risk reduction program. This is a tremendous amount of logistics and coordination that happens on a daily basis, and it's been done by 5 people in less than 6 months. So I really want to let you know how proud I am of your hard work. I also want to emphasize that all of the programs that are currently offered at San Juan Basin will be offered within the Nevada County Public Health Department. Said another way, no programs will be discontinued, and we are currently looking at ways to expand and serve county residents so that they can avail themselves of the highest quality standard of services within the county. We're happy to say that the department will open 35 staff on January 2nd. To ensure the delivery of the required foundation of public health services and capabilities that we offer. I'm sure you would agree that the people who are responsible for delivering public health services in LaPlata County are at the heart of our organization and the heart of this community. So as we count down the remaining days until the official opening of the LaPlata County Public Health Department, and we look forward to welcoming this full contingent of 45 staff that are taking the time to make sure that everyone that joins the LaPlata County team is set up for success. The county has formed a welcoming committee, and last week we hosted a new employee welcome fair and are planning orientation activities and events for the first 2 weeks of January. I do want to reassure you, however, that during this hiatus of services, there will be critical services that are delivered, such as vital records and well water testing. So please do look for the information that we will be providing related to the availability of those services during that 2-week training time. As you can tell, it's been a tremendous amount of work, and so many hands and minds have gone into getting us to this point. But we are really, really excited to begin this new stage of public health in LaPlata County. And for information on the LaPlata County Public Health Department, you can find it, I had to put this on because the web address was really, really long. Go to the county website, scroll across the top, which is of course blocked by that menu bar, go to departments, and then scroll down to public health, and we have our own public health page. You can also contact me directly at, okay, oops, sorry. Anyway, I forgot that I put animations in my slides. Good Lord, I really messed it up. All right, so you can contact me directly at Anselmo, ANSELMO, at lpcgov.org, and that is my phone number. So thank you.
Hit buttons, okay. Okay, Greg, Murray, please, we're on to. Interesting. Oh, where's your stand? We've met.
She's been coming for a year, they came twice, I can't take this.
Proud of the Cat School of Business.
Yeah, so I'm Tristan, this is Greg, we're both lenders of Bank of Colorado. We're excited to be, along with Steve and the Cat School of Business, hosting the 32nd annual Southwest Economic Outlook. This year our focus is healthcare. So we will have Rich Wildenheim there, as well as Nathan Peach from the Fort Lewis Cat School of Business, as well as a panel of, I know Megan's going to be joining us, a panel of our local healthcare leaders. So we're excited and hope you all can meet you on Tuesday, January 9th from 8 to 12. 8:30 to 12. That's all.
Next announcement from Chamber, Jack.
I'll be very brief. Just a reminder, this Thursday from 5 to 7, we're having our annual Christmas business after hours. It'll be down at TBK Bank. Also, I've been promoting the Chamber Day at the Capitol. That's going to be moved because it conflicts with a National Chamber Conference that they didn't realize when they picked the date. So stay tuned. It'll probably get bumped to the first part of March. And also to mark your calendars, Durango Rocks coming up on the 29th of February up at Fort Lewis College Community Concert Hall. And if you want some fun, go out and find Chandler the Elf. We're doing a little fun thing. Go on our social media channels and check that out. That's my report.
Thank you, Jack. That's Doug from Local First.
Well, I'm coming up. I just want to say, I hope you all enjoyed the long night this year as much as we did. Really appreciate all the local businesses in town that participated in the well night, and want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Alpine Bank, Valentine Communications, City of Durango, BID, the Main Avenue businesses, and TBK Bank, and last but not least, Visit Durango for helping us put that on. It's really a fun event, and I think it's much more than a shopping event. It's a community celebration event. So we're really pleased to be able to present that. I wanted to remind you all today that there is 1 week left, or this is the last week for enrolling. If you buy your own health insurance, Friday is the date to enroll for January 1st conversation. So I recently took the reins of Local First from Lauren Baratich. I'm really excited to do this. I've been living here for 23 years. Some of you may know me from my work on healthcare in collaboration with Peak Health Alliance. And I want to introduce our new staff to you as well. Meg Murillo in the back, would you stand, Meg? Is our new membership and events specialist. You may know Meg from her work on the Rocket, what is it called? Mineral and.
Corners Gem and Mineral Club.
Gem and Mineral, yeah. You know, I messed that up. And then some of you may know Megan Lee, our new marketing communication specialist. She helped plan the last summit with Mike French, and we're really pleased to have Megan join our staff. So thank you all. I also want to say thank you to Tracy. Tracy has really won me over and has done a fabulous job as our interim public health director. And I've really appreciated working with her and getting the new public health department set up. So important to undergird everything that we do as a business community, because that's the bedrock of what we try to do with people, planet, and prosperity. So thank you all. Look forward to getting to know you all better.
Okay, Lyle from Snowdown.
Morning, everybody. I'm Chip Lyle. I'm the honor of being the president of the Snowdown Committee. As I take safe with us today, he's the treasurer of Snowdown Committee. Snowdown this year starts on January 26th. That's 44 days from now. Some of you may have noticed over the last couple of years, we added an additional weekend to the beginning of Snowdown. This year we have about 185 events, and so that extra weekend we added right before the events to really expand that weekend into not so much 9 days of Snowdown, but at least an extra week of Snowdown. Some of the highlights for this year, the theme is Peace, Love, and Snowdown. You know, COVID for Snowdown was a challenge. We think this year is really kind of the first year we're back up and running 100% across the board, all the venues and everything else going on. The usual is happening, the golf tournament, Follies, of course, is happening. I don't have any Follies tickets. I get my Follies tickets by I get my tickets, he has to go to the books to get his. So if you want Follies tickets, the lotto, if you will, is already passed. It was last weekend, but you will have 2 more chances to get Follies tickets. One of them is the Bank of San Juan's. They will auction off some tickets right before Snowdown. And then there is a surprise ticket office. The secret ticket office will pop up on January 13th. That'll be your last chance to get any kind of tickets for that. The parade is usually a pretty big event. A lot of impact on downtown Durango. It's by far the largest event we have in the downtown Durango venue. We expect about 10,000 to 12,000 people to watch the parade. We have over 60 entries in the float every year. It takes about an hour to do. Parking is always a problem. So we have parking at the fairgrounds and shows. Very little transit back and forth for free. And some things like that. Chili cook-off is a big deal. The Bloody Mary contest at the fairgrounds, so you get a chance to see it. Any questions? Any veterinary services provided? There is a dog and cat show. I knew if I kept plugging away. Thank you, Lord. Oh, where's Kyle?
Me?
That's Kyle. You have some announcements on trainings?
Yeah, quick announcement, guys. So I'm putting on a marketing event for business owners. It's kind of just pulling back the curtains from what I've done in real estate. And so I'm showing businesses, it's all free, showing businesses how to use YouTube to double and triple their business, what funnels are actually working, and how to use AI, real AI. So it's going to be next Tuesday, the 19th at TBK Bank at 12 o'clock. Feeding you guys lunch. There's 50 spots. You guys should get some information coming out this week. But that's what it is. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Again, no meeting in January. Next meeting will be February 13th. We hope to see you up on campus for the economic outlook. Thank you, Bank of Colorado, for their sponsorship. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Tuesday.
See you. A lot of it.